I told you I would show you how to get these graphs in case that's a piece you're struggling with. So in my calculator, the first thing, of course, would be to make sure you have all your data entered. So just so that you're aware, I have put my X values, those are my anxiety levels, in list 5. And I've put my test scores, those are my Y values, in list 6. So make sure you've done that, and then we're going to go to stat plot. Go ahead, calculator. All right. It's important to make sure that one plot is on and the other two are off. Okay, otherwise, you're going to have some headaches. So I'm going to go ahead and into the first one that's on. And my first graph I want to make is a scatter plot of my data. So I'm going to select the scatter plot. And it needs two lists, L5 and L6. And of course, you can, change what you want it to look like. I kind of sometimes like doing the little pluses. So I'm going to do a zoom 9, and there's my scatter plot. Okay, that's exactly where I got this picture. All right, scatter plot of my data. Check. The next graph that I showed you was a residual plot. Now, this is the biggest problem my students have graphing. Remember, a residual plot graphs residuals. Residuals are the difference between the data points and the line. I can't calculate this distance, which is a residual, unless I have a line. So in order to graph this, I actually am going to have to run the linear regression first. That's so funky. Do it anyway. All right, so stat, calc. Remember, there were the two different lin regs, and your book uses 8. And we had two lists. We want to go in order, list 5, comma, list 6. We want to go X, then Y. And I don't even have to do anything with it. I don't have to write it down. I don't have to worry about it. But I have to run it in my calculator. Now I can create the graph. So I go to stat plot. Let's see. It's still going to be a scatter plot looking thing. But now, instead of the X's and Y's, I'm going to graph the X's and the residuals. So that's in my list of residuals. And I'll go ahead and do a zoom 9 on that one. All right, so that's where I got this graph. So again, the important step on this one was making sure you run the lin reg. All right, and then our last graph is a histogram of the residuals. All right, so instead of X, I'm going to put in my list that I want my residuals. And I'll go ahead and do a zoom 9 on that one as well. And that's how I got my histogram.